Okay, so this is a transcription or subtitle file that I have generated using a local AI model based on this YouTube video that I published on my channel. And as you can see, it nails down the brand names like ChatGPT, Gemini, or perhaps Copilot, and even Claude. So usually transcribing a speech into text can be quite challenging for some AI models because there are some names that are not available in the English dictionary, so it is something that usually AI will get wrong. But in this instance, I was able to get a very accurate transcription, and this is something that you can do with local AI models. I mean, sure, you can upload your video or audio files to ChatGPT or Gemini, and as far as I know, they are able to transcribe the audio or speech from the content into text, and later you can get the full transcription or even the subtitle file based on that media content. But they do have the incentive to not do that because a very long audio or video file is very expensive to run, and there is a good chance that you will only get maybe half of the actual spoken words in the content. So instead, it's recommended to use a local AI model like Whisper that is able to process audio or video files no matter the size locally on your computer. Now, in this video, I'll show you how you can use the Whisper model to transcribe the audio or video file on your computer, and I'll show you the easiest way you can do it. Now, technically, this Whisper model was created by OpenAI, and this is open source. But in order to run the model or use the model, you need to know how to use command lines, and I would say that is not something that is easy to use, easy to follow for most people. So instead, I highly recommend to use a wrapper application called Buzz. So it is available on GitHub, and don't worry, I'm going to put the link in the description down below. So they do have the setup file that you can open and install very easily. If you navigate to this GitHub page, you can scroll down and then you can see that there are some platforms that are supported for Buzz. So the program is available for macOS, Windows, and of course Linux. Now in this case, I'm using Windows, so if I want to download this program, I can open the setup file on SourceForge. And after that, you can click this download button and then just wait until it finishes. Now, after that, you'll get a zip file and you can extract the zip file. And within that folder, you'll see 3 items at the very least. By the way, I'm using Windows, so if you're using Linux or macOS, maybe you will see something that is a bit different. But basically, find the setup item, which in this case for Windows is the executable. So you can open it and then you can follow the installation process that I think is very straightforward. Just, click install and then next until it finishes. It is very much straightforward. Now, after that, after you have got a Buzz installed on your computer, you can open the program. So let me just open Buzz, and basically you'll see something that looks like this. Now, to add an audio or video file, you can click this plus button. And then let's say I want to transcribe maybe I have a video that I have published yesterday. Let's try maybe this video. So how to create song like a pro using 11 Music. That is very interesting because 11 Music is a brand name. It is very, very new that it's not going to be available in the Whisper model, but we are going to fix that later. But anyway, here you will see something like the setting where you can adjust. So for the model, I'll select Whisper. There are other variation of Whisper, but I'll just use the default option or the original Whisper model, which is this one. And for the size of the model, they have plenty of sizes, like there's a tiny, base, small, medium, large, and even the large version 3 turbo. So that's, I think, multi-gigabyte model. I think you don't want to use that model unless if you have the hardware that is capable to run a very large AI model. So for most people, I recommend to use either base or oh, sorry about that, either bass or medium. So between bass or medium, you can use a large or tiny depending on your hardware. And by the way, if you don't have a GPU, I think you can start with a tiny model. And if you have an audio or video content where people is speaking in English, then I highly recommend to use the English variation of the model. Now in this case, I actually have downloaded the medium model, so I'll select this one. Now if you don't have the model installed on your computer, then it will be downloaded automatically, so don't worry about that. Now for the task, I'll select transcribe, but you can also select translate to English. That's actually one capability of the Whisper model. It is able to translate other languages into English. Okay, now for the language, you can select automatic, or you can just select specify the language that is spoken in the audio or video content, which in this case English. Now in the advanced section, you can actually use AI, basically AI speech recognition settings. Now this is a little more advanced. I think if you want to get a correction from a bigger cloud-based AI model, I think you can use this. But in this case, I'm not going to use that. I'll just rely on the local AI model for transcription. Now, here we got a few other settings. I highly recommend to use extract speech, but do not enable word level timings, because that's really strange. Like basically it will create a timestamp for each word that is spoken in the audio or video content, and that's just really strange. It's almost like a subtitle, but on every word it changes, and the only application where it kind of makes sense is when you're making, let's say, a fast-paced video like YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reel. Usually people have a sort of subtitle where it is changing every word, but I think that's just not the kind of subtitle that I want to have, so I'm not going to use that. But I will enable extract speech, so it will focus on the speech and will ignore other noises like background noises or music or some other things that are not spoken words. And for the format, you can use TXT or SRT or VTT, if depending on what you need. But in this case, I'll select SRT, click run, and just wait. Now again, if you don't have the model, it will be downloaded automatically. But in this case, I already have the model available on my computer, so it just start transcribing the audio or the video into text. Now, if you upload or provide a video, it will automatically extract the audio from that video, and audio is actually a format that Whisper can support. So it's actually two-step, converting the video into audio, and then from that audio, it will be processed by this Whisper AI model. But don't worry, it's not going to affect the original content. It's just creating another copy. So your original video is not going to be changed by this process. So for me, depending on the length of the content, I think you can expect about, I would say, for every minute of spoken audio, it's going to need like maybe 10 seconds of audio processing. So in this case, I think that my video was about 10 minutes long, so I guess I'm going to need about 1 minute for the transcription to be created. So I'll just skip a word and I'll show you the next step that I highly recommend to do. So I'll just skip a word and I'll show you the result. Alright, so this is the result. As you can see, it took about 1 minute and 34 seconds for the transcription to finish. It's a bit longer than my original prediction, but still within the range. And basically the transcription will be stored on the same folder of the audio or video file that you just provided. Now in this case, I got this transcription in the .srt format, and yep, this is the one. Okay, it looks decent. Now, there is one problem, because I can spot right away that the mention like 11 music is not actually accurate. It's 11 number and the music. The actual name is 11, like in the word 11 music and without space. So AI has no idea about this brand name because it doesn't exist in its training data. It doesn't exist in the dictionary. So it's struggling with that. So how do we fix this problem? Well, for that, unfortunately, we need access to the internet, because there is no way AI would know every single new thing on the internet. So for that, we need to rely on a cloud-based AI model or service like ChatGPT. Now, I'm going to open ChatGPT. and I'm going to upload that SRT file. And after that, this is the prompt that I'm going to use. Don't worry, I'm going to put the full prompt in the description down below, and you can send a message. Just wait for AI like ChatGPT, Claude, or Gemini to create the corrected version of the subtitle file. Now, technically, you can use a local AI model to process the correction, but it still needs access to the internet. Like in this case, I have LM Studio, and I'm using the Gemini model to, to access the web and then correct the subtitle. And it is able to do that. As you can see, it is able to get the name like Claude, Copilot, and Microsoft, ChatGPT. So it's pretty good. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good, and it is an offline AI model, but it needs some setup, and I actually have made some videos on how you can enable a web search capability for a local AI models like perhaps Gemma, Quen, Mistral, and many others. You can check the video on my channel, and I will actually put the link of that tutorial in the description down below. Anyway, here, basically just wait until it finishes, and the length depends on the total amount of words spoken, the length of the transcription, and then how many words that AI needs to cross-check on the internet. So I guess I'll just skip forward again and I'll show you the result. Or maybe not. In this case, I think I got the download file. Yeah, now just wait for ChatGPT to finish everything. So I can click this download button and I should be able to get the transcription. All right, so this is the correct version. All right, so yeah, I think it is a lot better. One says 11 music, but the other one that has been corrected says 11 music without space and without number. So this is the correct version. So you can see from the first line alone, it is able to correct the mistake that was created from the Whisper model. So that's perhaps the blind spot of the local AI model. So we need to rely on the cloud-based cloud-based AI model to fix those mistakes, but everything else, or I would say the bulk majority of the work, was done using a local AI model. So go ahead, check out this GitHub page, and I'll put all the links and the prompts in the description down below. And don't forget to subscribe to this channel because I'm going to make more AI videos like this one. And if you want to see perhaps other things that you can do with other AI tools, and you want to make sure that AI can be very useful in your life, then check out this video up here, and I'll see you there.